Wait, forget it. Let's get divorced, Maria said, reaching for a shelf in the corner of the living room. She pulled out a piece of paper and placed it in front of me. Is this really it? Was it an actual divorce form? Have you been preparing for this all along? I asked, my eyes wide with disbelief as I looked back and forth between the divorce form and Mariah. Hurry up and sign it. Also, I'm taking the New York house. You can live modestly in Nebraska. This can't be happening, I fought, as everything went dark before my eyes. At that time, I'm going to Nebraska. What? What? Sean announced unexpectedly, leaving Mary shocked and me a step behind, asking for clarification. What on earth was Sean thinking? Neither of us could understand. My name is Tosh Geller, a 50-year-old. I have worked for years as a buyer at the major department store, Marcy's department store. Most people might think working in such a glamorous industry means I'm making a fortune. However, the reality is far from it. The world of a buyer is incredibly harsh. No one can ever predict what products will definitely sell. It's common for items that were selling like hotcakes last year to barely move off the shelves this year. Behind every blockbuster product, there are countless duds. Right now, I'm juggling 2 jobs. One is visiting our regular customers' homes to see if they need anything and arranging for those items. It's somewhat like being a personal shopper. Many of our familiar customers are getting older and find it difficult to visit the department store themselves. The other job is importing European brands, focusing mainly on men's wear and accessories. Oh, what a coincidence. One day when I visited a regular customer's home, I ran into Nicholas Austin, who had arrived before me. He's the MD at Nordstrom Trading, our biggest rival department store. MD stands for Merchandiser, the department store star player who's not only involved in purchasing, but also in product development and manufacturing. They have a broader scope of duties than buyers and are often the go-getter type of salesperson. We met in front of another customer's house the other day, didn't we? Yes, they mentioned wanting to get a new down comforter for the winter. Nordstrom Trading, where Austin works, has a superior bedding lineup compared to ours. Since consumers have the right to choose where to buy based on the product, we can't complain if they prefer Nordstrom Trading over us. By the way, how's your wife doing? He suddenly asked. You see, my wife, Maria, and Austin were college classmates. Well, she's doing fine. No particular issues, I replied with a meaningful smile. After a day out on the job, returning to our company always brings a wave of exhaustion. I ran into Austin again. But again, well, he is the top gun at Nordstrom Trading. That came from Hayden, a junior colleague of mine. Despite being a 10-year veteran buyer, the junior vibe hasn't worn off, probably because I've been looking out for him since he was a newbie. You should be careful. He's really clever. Seems like he quickly captures the hearts of wealthy ladies, Hayden said. Hey, what did you just say? I asked. I said he captures the hearts of wealthy ladies, Hayden repeated. But having colleagues to joke around with is healing for me right now. I thought back to the conversation with Austin. By the way, how's your wife doing? Well, no particular issues. I'm surprised I managed to answer like that considering Maria and I are anything but problem-free. When I first met Maria, she was still in college. I was sitting next to her at a drinking party I was invited to by a friend, and we hit it off. What? You work at Marcy's department store? That's amazing, Maria said. Well, yeah, but it's not that big of a deal. Back then, the job market was in favor of the sellers. On the day job restrictions were lifted, companies would throw lavish dinner parties for their new hires to prevent them from going to other interviews and send them home with taxi vouchers. Everyone, including myself, was fired up about making a mark as young professionals. Maybe that's why we felt a bit more confident, even when it came to the opposite sex. Maria was all eyes when I landed a job at Marcy's, constantly making eyes at me. That's amazing. Do you get an employee discount? Luckily, her eyes sparkled with longing as she looked up at me, and I couldn't help but be swayed. Soon after, things progressed quickly, and we started dating. By the time Maria graduated from college, she was pregnant, and we ended up getting married. One thing that I wasn't anticipating was that even during the bubble economy, my income for the first 3 years wasn't much to speak of. What? This is all I get this month? I've seen Maria's excitement quickly deflate upon seeing the amount in my paycheck countless times. Did you deceive me? I wasn't told it would be this little. Those words hit me harder than expected. Everyone around is in the same boat, plus, being in the 3rd year, we're still greenhorns, and the salary is supposed to go up from here. I hope so. From that moment, the gears in our marriage began to misalign. Maria only seems to be in a good mood twice a year, only during Marcy's department store's family sale. On this day alone, I truly feel glad I married you, she'd say. On the day of the sale, she'd leave early in the morning by herself, returning in the evening with her arms full of shopping bags. I work hard every day with housework and childcare, so this is only fair, she claims. She cleans, but she rarely does any. I'm the one who handles the laundry in the morning before work and takes care of it when I get home. Takeout or supermarket ready meals are a common sight at our dinner table. However, the fact that I've left childcare entirely up to Maria is undeniable, so I can't say her argument is completely wrong. I've been eyeing this bag for so long. Keep working hard and earning. As a result, my Christmas bonus vanishes in an instant every year. It's likely this year will be no different. But Williams, you're going to be transferred here starting next month. I was mentally prepared for a personnel transfer around this time, but when it was actually proposed to me, I couldn't help but feel apprehensive. The reason: I was reluctant about the transfer order. Was Nebraska? I quickly pulled up a map in my mind. It's a place you definitely can't commute to from my home in New York. Do you understand why I'm saying this? Yes, facing this transfer, which could be seen as a demotion, I wasn't in a position to complain. The Italian brand purchases keep failing. Is it due to marketing, or maybe your instincts have dulled with age? That hit a sore spot. Being a buyer requires not only meticulous market research, but also, above all, a good sense of style. Trends change rapidly every day. If you don't keep up, you won't produce results in this tough world. However, I've heard rumors that the store in Nebraska might eventually close. When I said that, my boss answered in a hesitant tone. Well, rumors are just rumors. Nothing's been decided yet. Is that so? Neither of us said anything more. Bridging home with my shoulders slumped, I was trying to figure out the right timing to tell Maria. Looking at the dinner table, the same ready meals from the day before yesterday were laid out. I sighed. What? Got a complaint? No, it's not that. Maria frowned. Now was the only chance to say it. I've been assigned to work at the store in Nebraska starting next month. I tentatively watched Maria's reaction. Her mouth hung open in shock, gaping. Wait, hold on. Suddenly, Nebraska of all places. Maria stood up abruptly, agitated. There's no arguing with the company's orders. We'll be busy with moving preparations from now on, so you'll start tomorrow, she said, hysterically. Don't joke, she screamed. Hysterically, she screamed. Then turned away from me, shutting herself as if to protect herself. It's impossible. No way. I'm definitely not going. Hey, calm down. Let's go to Nebraska together as a family, all right? I approached Maria, trying to soothe her. But she looked at me coldly and said, What is impossible? We're getting a divorce. With that, she briskly walked past me to a shelf in the corner of the living room. She pulled out a piece of paper and placed it in front of me. Is this what I think it is? It was an actual divorce form, already filled out in Maria's section and even signed. Have you been preparing this all along? I asked, my eyes wide in disbelief. Looking back and forth between the divorce form and Mariah. You expect me to live in such a remote place? No way. Besides, you never were the man who could meet the lifestyle I wanted. Do you have any idea how hard I've worked up until now? Both of us were getting more and more heated. I had a mountain of things I wanted to say to Maria over the years, but I swallowed most of them, and made it to today. Besides, this transfer might have been an opportunity to improve our strained relationship a bit. I had some hope that changing our environment might make things better. Yet, hurry up and sign this. Also, I'm taking the New York house. You can live modestly in Nebraska. This can't be happening. Everything went dark before my eyes. Ignoring me, Maria sat down on the sofa and started fiddling with her smartphone. Just leave it there when you're done. I'll file it with the clerk's office of the County Supreme Court first thing tomorrow morning. Irritated by her way of not looking up from her smartphone and ignoring me, I snapped, "Hey, listen. Just got home right when I was about to argue. Our son Sean came home. Welcome back. June, your mom, and I are getting a divorce. What's with the sudden news?" "Well, I kind of sensed that things between you two were off somehow," he said calmly. The two of them laughing together in the situation made me feel even more alienated. "But you know, nothing's going to change for me and Sean, really." "Dad, where are you going?" Cut off guard, I was snapped back to reality. "I've been transferred to the store in Nebraska." "Nebraska," Sean muttered to himself. "There's no way we're going to such a rural place, right, Dad?" "You must have assumed me and Sean would follow you." "How naive of you." Maria looked down on me triumphantly and burst into laughter. My family was ready to abandon me as I was sent off to a remote location. I closed my eyes tightly. "But I'm going to Nebraska." "What?" The unexpected response from Sean took Maria by surprise, and I too asked again, a bit too late. "What are you talking about?" "You just started working in New York," Maria said. "It's already 2024, you know. With just a laptop, you can work from anywhere. Plus, I've always been kind of fascinated by that kind of work. I'll talk to my boss about it first thing tomorrow." With that, Sean's eyes sparkled as he rushed into his room. "What's gotten into him?" "Sean's always been a city kid through and through," I said, perhaps shocked by her son's refusal. Maria started blaming me. "Did you put some ideas into Sean's head behind my back?" "He would never say something like that. He always listened to everything I said." "Hey, calm down. I'm just as confused as you are. I was actually surprised too, thinking Sean would definitely choose to stay with you." Maria and I both found ourselves staring at Sean's room door at the same time. We had no clue what our son was thinking. With my transfer to Nebraska looming, I'm currently faced with a pile of problems. First and foremost, the issue of divorce. How about we start with a separation and see how things go? No way. I don't want anything half-hearted. Please, let's just get divorced quickly. Our discussions were at a stalemate. For me, it wasn't that my love for Mariah had disappeared, but Mariah felt differently. Choosing you was a mistake from the beginning. I only married you because you worked at Marcy's department store. The only benefit I've received is the semi-annual family sale. In essence, what she wanted wasn't me, but the money I earned and the employee discount. Sean has graduated college, and we've paid off his fees. Our expenses should decrease now, leading to a more comfortable life. Enough already. Mariah barricaded herself in the bedroom, burying her face in the bed and screaming like a child throwing a tantrum. Please, let's just get divorced already. Was I that disliked? There's nothing I can do when I begged to this extent. All right. I reluctantly signed the divorce form. The next issue is Sean's guardianship of a child for divorced parents lasts until the child reaches the age of 18 years old, so it's up to Sean where and with whom to live. Sean, are you really going to move to Nebraska with Dad? You could also move out and live on your own, you know. You have plenty of options. Don't rush into anything, okay? What's with that tone? It's like you don't want me to come with you. Honestly, part of me felt that way. The idea of living in the countryside with my 23-year-old son wasn't part of my future vision anyway. I got the okay from my boss. I wanted to move out and be independent, you know. But moving to Nebraska and working remotely sounds pretty cool too. Is this how Jenny thinks? Despite my worries, Scene was steadily preparing for the move. Mom's going to miss you, you know. I muttered toward Scene's back, and he burst out laughing. Dad, are you serious? Haven't you noticed how upbeat Mom has been since you agreed to the divorce? Her interests have moved on to something else, somewhere else. I was completely clueless. Well, we'll get to that eventually, Scene replied with a meaningful tone. And so, with a part of me still not fully convinced, I respected Maria's wishes and finalized our divorce, starting a new life with my son in Nebraska. Please put the TV over there. Watch your step. Despite my confusion, Scene efficiently directed the movers. Apologies, I'm new to the city. I've updated my residency. When will the electricity and gas be activated? Thanks for your assistance. Scene had already taken care of setting up the utilities without me realizing it. Now we just need to set up the Wi-Fi. Great. Oh, Dad, the fridge is going there. You're in the way. Yeah, sure. It almost feels like Scene is the head of the household, and I'm just a lodger. It's crucial to experience living independently as an adult. I wanted to manage all administrative and utility setups on my own. Thanks. Oh, no. Thank you. I'm the one who should be grateful. Even though the company provides an allowance, I didn't have to deal with any of the extra paperwork related to the move. We've got a gas stove, so I'll cook dinner on that today. I found a really nice supermarket nearby. The groceries are fresher and cheaper than in New York. With that, he sped off on his road bike that had been loaded onto the moving truck. Before I knew it, having him around is actually a huge help, more than I expected. Like a whirlwind, Scene has begun to envelop my daily life. I've never faced my son this much before. Seeing Scene so happy like that has been a long time coming. After failing at my job, getting transferred to a remote area, and easily handed divorce papers by Maria, my longtime partner, I thought my life was a mess. Yet, opening this new chapter, I find myself excited about starting a new life with Scene. From tomorrow, it's a strange feeling. 3 months have passed since I was assigned to the branch in the city. Until recently, I was a buyer at the headquarters in New York. But now, I'm working in customer support at the store. Initially, I wasn't too keen on it. But standing in the store, I've come to realize there's a lot to learn first off. I was surprised to see the clientele at the branch beginning to change. It used to be mostly senior affluent customers, but now there's a larger middle-aged demographic and notably more immigrants. In the headquarters in New York, there were plenty of employees fluent in languages, so it wasn't a concern. But here in the countryside, the reality is that only a few of us can speak second languages to some extent. But why are so many aliens making the effort to come to a branch in such a rural area? When I casually asked Scene about it, he said, as if it were obvious, "Dad, didn't you know? This area has a strong foundation, so companies are flocking here to build data centers. There are many foreign companies among them." Is that so? I thought. Maybe the shopping boom had come around again. I realized I need to be more aware of the world's trends. Scene continued, "It's not just IDY. A major foreign real estate company is about to enter the neighboring town." Was it a company from Singapore? I forgot the details. So the aliens coming to Marcy aren't just immigrants, but came here to work in this town. That's right, Scene confirmed. And their number might increase in the future. I've always wondered how I would work in such a rural area moving forward. If there's such a bright future for the land itself, maybe I don't need to be so pessimistic. Hearing Scene's talk made me feel a bit more positive. but closing down, you say. 6 months after the transfer, just when I was finally getting used to our new life. Trouble follows trouble. The rumors turned out to be true. The manager gathered only the supervisory members to painfully announce the decision from above. In the last 5 years, sales haven't grown. Instead, the deficit has been ballooning. Closing down is inevitable. It's not like there's no activity. Can't something be done? But the manager shook his head. It seems we're out of options. How can anyone maintain motivation in a workplace that's nearing its end? I've completely lost my drive. I sighed. Dad, you've been looking down lately. Didn't you like the spaghetti after dinner? As I was idly standing in the yard, Scene suddenly spoke to me. By now, he's fully adapted to this place, enjoying the countryside life even more than me. It's surprising that he's also become a member of the local volunteer fire brigade, deepening his ties with the neighbors. Oh, well, just a bit, I responded. What I'm curious about, come on, tell me, pressed by my son. I reluctantly informed him of the closing of the Marcy branch. I see. So, Dad's layoff might happen before reaching retirement age, Scene pondered. There might be. I won't be called back to the headquarters in New York, and the future looks bleak. I laughed helplessly. Then, after a moment of deep thought, Scene suddenly lit up with an idea that seemed utterly out of the blue to me. I was simply impressed by that fantastic idea. Imported goods from China, yes. Given the diverse clientele at this branch, it might just be successful, I exclaimed. Based on a hint Scene gave me last night, I stayed up all night to draft a proposal and presented it to the manager and others. Chinese products are now overflowing with high-quality, high-value items. We're thinking of covering those hard-to-import products with Mars Department Store's financial resources. But first off, where do you plan to source these products? I had a plan for this, unbeknownst to some. Scene is in charge of app development and Asian marketing at an ID venture company. I've already pinpointed unique sales sites in China, Macau, and Singapore. We'll source from there. How did you manage that? And even if we source them, how are we going to sell them? The branch manager's concern was valid after all. No branch, not even the headquarters in New York, had ever undertaken such a business. We'll ask an ID company to create a dedicated platform exclusively for our city branch. Sales staff will access it anytime using tablets on the floor. Outsourcing is the best option. Such an elaborate system isn't easy to build, the manager lamented, intrigued with this momentum. We decided to go all in. We'll not just cater to American customers, but primarily to foreigners. If you spot a foreigner pondering over products in the store, it's a good strategy to quickly show them the tablet. So it's about turning there. I wish I could find this here into reality, right? By doing this repeatedly, the sales staff can develop a sense for what appeals to aliens. I nodded vigorously. The title of buyer isn't necessary anymore. Each salesperson will naturally acquire the skill and play their part. We'll offer desired products until they're accustomed. Then we'll anticipate trends and restock quickly. We'll also collaborate with a market research app, however. The branch manager pondered for a moment, likely calculating the cost of system development in his head. Seeing the manager's worried expression, I pleaded, my son works at an ID venture company. This is also his proposal, and it's within the realm of possibility. Why not give it a trial run? Then the manager and the supervisory members listening began to nod in agreement. Either way, this branch was on the verge of closure. Even if the proposal seemed far-fetched, it was better than doing nothing. The high-ups are leaning towards closure. Let's make this our final stand and amplify the voice of the field, declared the branch manager with determination. Encouraged by his enthusiasm, the faces of the surrounding employees brightened up in no time. Thus, a trial store-involved import business project was launched. Scene, the proposer, quickly liaised with the superiors and stakeholders, and the contract was successfully established. And just like that, 3 months flew by. Let's move on to the final phase. Here is the home screen as per the specifications we discussed in the conference room. At the back of the Omaha brand M's face appeared on the projector screen via video call. Naturally, I'd see him once I got home, which made me feel a bit embarrassed. After all, I never see this assertive side of him at home. He's actually good at his job. Huh. Mr. Williams, are you listening? Oh yes, of course. The employees around us watched our interaction and laughed. I couldn't help but laugh along as the project began to take off. And nearly a year had passed. The high-ups decided to call off the closure of the branch. The import business was a huge success. I didn't lose my job. In fact, this term, including my bonus, my monthly income exceeded $80,000. Sean, thank you so much. It's all because of you. Well, yay. It's all thanks to me. His lack of modesty was actually quite refreshing. Just as the two of us were celebrating with a beer shower in the yard, a familiar voice echoed at the front gate. Chun, are you there? Hearing that voice, Scene and I exchanged glances. Maria, what's going on? You surprised me. It's been 2 years since the divorce. I haven't seen Maria even once since then. Opposite to my happiness, just seeing her face shown next to me casts a suspicious look and says, What are you doing here? No need to talk like that. Even after finally seeing their mom for the first time in a while, they don't seem happy at all. Let's at least go inside, as I'm about to say. Scene quickly stops me. There's no need for that. Just go home. I know you've been deceiving Dad all this time. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Scene said, sounding excited, Dad, this woman has been cheating on you with a college buddy, right? I saw them walking closely together, and she even brought him home, didn't she? I always felt a weird vibe whenever I came back from work. That can't be. I was completely taken aback, but at that moment, a person crossed my mind. Could it be Austin? Maria and Austin were college buddies. That smug look on Austin's face when he asked how my wife was doing, deep down something had always been bothering me. The only mistake in my life was choosing you over Austin for Nordstrom Trading. If I had chosen him from the start, I could have been living the high life. Maria stamped her feet right there, and then, both Sean and I were appalled by such childish behavior. Dad, see, I told you so, didn't I? Back when we were in New York, I used to come home late and didn't pay much attention to the household. But Sean was different. He spent more time with Mariah than I did. I believe Sean. So you've been involved with Austin even after we got married. Huh. I asked her quietly with a stern look on my face, and Mariah raised an eyebrow and smirked as if to mock me. I thought I could keep deceiving you because you're so oblivious. Yes, I was cheating. So what? Unlike you, he fulfills all my desires. I was speechless at Mariah's brazenness. But you still love me, don't you? Fine. I'll remarry you. You guys have been doing well lately, haven't you? Mariah glanced between C and me with a snake-like stare. Don't joke with me. The love I had for you has cooled off this very moment. It's not just cool. It's turned into contempt. Get out, I said, trembling. What did you say? Looking back, I had never talked back to Mariah like this before. Trembling, her lips, Maria then turned to plead with Sean. Hey Sean, won't you help your mom? Recently, even Austin has started running out of money. Let's ignore your dad like before and live happily together, shall we? With that, Maria tried to cling to Sean, but Sean shook her off. Live with someone like you? That's nauseating. I've grown attached to this place, and as I've matured, I've begun to grasp how hard Dad worked for the family, Sean said. At those words, I felt a warmth in my eyes. You thought me your dad would feel sorry for you? Now, what? A delusional woman. Maria, completely abandoned by her husband and son who had always obeyed her, collapsed right there. I slowly approached and looked straight into Mariah's eyes. Don't ever come back here. Go be happy with your affair partner, I said. Then Sean grabbed my shoulder with force. We should get alimony. You can't show mercy now, Dad, Sean urged. I answered calmly, of course, that's the plan. Oh, really? Sean backed down easily. Hearing that, Maria suddenly started pleading. Wait a minute, I didn't hear anything about alimony. That's not can't pay, but you will. You've committed a serious sin of infidelity, and you need to show you're making amends. That's the least you can do for Sean. How could you? Mariah found herself in a no-win situation. We stood in front of Mariah, side by side with our arms crossed, blocking her way. Get out, I commanded. With that, Maria fled as if running away. Months later, through a lawyer, Maria was ordered to pay $40,000 in alimony after the divorce. If more than 3 years passed, the statute of limitations for alimony claims would expire. Both Sean and I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, acknowledging it was a close call. Naturally, Mariah, being unemployed, couldn't pay such a large amount. Maria turned to Austin for help, but shockingly, it was discovered he had been involved with several other women besides her. Most of them were wealthy madams who were his clients, and I was disgusted by his utterly despicable actions. One of these madams caused a huge scene at Nordstrom Trading, and Austin's misdeeds came to light, resulting in his termination. Then, in a twist of fate, Austin was the one begging Mariah for help. Despite her age, Maria looked young and had good looks. Support me by working in the nightlife industry, he pleaded, to which Mariah reluctantly agreed. However, when she started job hunting, her age prevented her from even getting interviews. Maria, once confident in her looks, now lives with Austin in a manga cafe room, almost homeless and her pride hurt. Both have truly fallen from grace. If only you had valued Dad more, you could have been a real socialite wife, Scene said sarcastically. As for me, I was assigned to the New York head office starting this term. Despite being close to retirement, this came as an unexpected promotion. Honestly, I enjoyed living with my son, so much that I wished to stay in this place forever. But when I mentioned that, Scene laughed and said, "Cut it out with the jokes." And then came the day of the move to New York. Come visit any time. I love your pastas, Scene said. It's not the past you love, it's me, right, father and son. We shared a warm handshake.